And we're live, Dave. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Hello, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Man, it's been a crazy day for me.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Man, I heard there was another shooting. Fucking shooting in West Village that I didn't know about. Shooting down here, down at the Dart station.
Yep. That was like not too long ago, just a couple days ago.
Yeah. So I heard about all of that today because I haven't been watching the news or partaking in any media.
Well, yeah, man, I was telling you the other day, man, like it's fucking crazy. Like gun control is nothing. Like there's no such thing as controlling guns because you can take all the guns you want away from people, but you can't keep crazy people from being fucking crazy. And crazy people will find any weapon that they can use to attack you. And in my opinion, it's much better for us to be prepared. In other words, for us to be armed to not allow somebody like that to take advantage of us. Fuck that.
Right. To arm the population.
Arm the population. Now you have a kid in school. And so my son is in high school, about to be a senior, about to be out of here, but yours is a little younger. So what do you think about the whole school shooting thing? Like, what do you think should be done about that?
Honestly, it's been happening as long back as I can remember. One of the first news stories I remember sitting down and watching with a group of people was Columbine. So it's not like it's a new hitting cutting edge story. You know what I mean? People have been shooting, but it's not something that's happening every single day like they make it out to be.
No,
It's
it's not.
not.
It's not. People are gonna use instances to glorify a position they hold. Like okay, let's say for instance, and I just learned about this today. It's crazy that we're talking about it, but Orson Welles, the guy that did
Absolutely.
the fake Martian attack.
Yeah.
Okay, so when he did the fake Martian attack, what is it that you heard were the repercussions of that on the public? Like, I'm sure you heard mass hysteria, right?
Right. People
So,
thought that
how
they
many
turned on the
people did you hear? How many people? And when you think of it, was it 20 people? Was it 1,000 people?
I
Was
mean,
it
everybody was
millions
listening to
of
the radio
people?
back then.
Yeah,
I can assume that the people that tuned in, like just getting home from work, they didn't get the intro where he's like, "Okay, I'm reading something." They turn on the radio. They're like, "Oh shit, we're under attack." Timmy, grab the gun over the mantle.
yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I was watching it today because it turns out that there was only about like a couple thousand people that were affected by it. And it wasn't the millions of people that they fucking made it out to
Oh
be.
shit, I thought it was tons and tons of
No,
people.
right, because okay, so radio was new, newspaper was solid.
Right.
This was before TV, so there
Right.
was no visual representation of anything. If you wanted news, you read it, and just now and at the time, I think it was like right around the 30s or 40s, I think, is when they did this. And they said that, the papers were the one that were saying millions of people because they wanted to vilify the
I see.
radio station by saying, oh, look at this one event that caused thousands of people to freak out caused millions of people to freak out. And you're like, man, fuck all that.
I see.
Like millions of people weren't affected by that. That was just the hoax that they wanted to do. That was a double hoax.
And to be
Orson
honest with
Welles
you-
hoaxed the public, but he did it because he didn't think, okay, so nobody really took radio seriously at the time. So
Right.
they thought, like, when Orson Welles and his group were putting it together, they did not think people would take it seriously. They thought people were going to think that was just a really well put together play, and there was no visual representation of the play. So everything was overly dramatic audibly, like all the voices, all the characters, all the actors, they all were like as serious as freaking possible because they knew that people listening to the radio, this was new for them. And they wanted to kind of bring it out.
Well, if you think about it, the ironic part is probably that the people that did believe it or bought into it were younger than your average consumer of media, right? Because dad read the newspaper, but fuck it, the son and the daughter would be sitting in front of the radio listening to Orphan Annie.
Just like today.
Yeah,
just like
absolutely.
the parents are watching the news on the TV and the kids are reading it on the internet,
Yeah, absolutely. Or listening to a podcast somewhere.
like us.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Because they consuming everybody out here.
Yeah, because we getting them all. No, but yeah, I don't. I don't just buy into the whole idea that it's a systemic problem, that we have gun control problems. I'm telling you that in Texas, where we have more guns than anywhere else, the felonious problem here is non-existent, because
Right.
your people here, if you're going to commit a crime, if you're going to commit a felony and you're from Texas, you probably know the law, and you probably know that any citizen can kill you
Yep.
while you're committing a felony.
Yep.
So especially in Texas, where the government and the legislation is all designed to protect the gun owner, because the gun owner is really doing something right. Only in fucked up states are they like, oh, you should have given him a chance to live. No, he shouldn't have. He's a fucking felony committing motherfucker. You let him live, he'll do it again.
Right.
You teach him a lesson, by putting him in prison, or if, let's just say, for instance, a citizen kills another guy. Well, that's an example to everybody else. Don't fucking commit felonies.
What do you learn when you go to prison, though?
How to commit more felonies and how to commit them better.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you become institutionalized around people who were in the same mind you were when you committed a felonious act.
Right.
Right. So you want to rehabilitate people, and that's all fine and good. I think that the rehab to work programs and the programs for young-minded people, like they have in Florida, where they'll take somebody that's committed serious felonies and put them through a boot camp, right? Put them through military training, where it's somebody's getting every single day rehabilitated, like I'm getting rehabilitated through work and through hard perseverance, essentially rebuilding their character. That's one thing. But you put somebody in general population with 200 other people, some of which may have committed worse crimes than you did. Some of people may have gotten away with several of those crimes before they got caught. You know what I'm saying? What that becomes is a think tank. So like we were saying the other day, it's the 1%, right?
Yeah.
So 1% of the population is evil.
Right. No, yeah, exactly. We were talking about this earlier. There's always a separation of 1% and 99%. Even on the bad side, it's really 198 1. 1% is totally good, totally, professional, the best, and then 1% is just straight trash. And I'm not talking about just like doesn't make it, but goes out of their way to be fucking trash.
Right.
You have like the cops, for instance. You have probably 1% of all the cops out there do everything. I mean, write tickets the way they're supposed to be written, observe every last little bit of the written law because it's their job. And then you'll have people that you'll have the 1% of cops that are out there that don't care. They're going to kill anybody. They're looking for a reason to kill. They got a license to kill. I mean, they got a badge. Who's to tell them they can't? All they have to do is say you're reaching for something. Literally, that's all they have to do is say, oh, he was reaching for something. I didn't know what it was. I assumed it was a gun.
And so what you're saying is the other 98% of people are well-balanced individuals.
Well-balanced, yeah.
Right. So the 1% that we were discussing the other day is there's 1% of people that are absolute evil, that are out to do evil and do harm. The same way that the kids from Columbine, let's say, like I was saying earlier, they were out to commit chaos, right? To hurt other people. And then 98% of the population that went to that school were out to just go to school. They were doing them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what the issue is let's say that you have the bubonic plague, right? What are the odds today that you're going to catch the bubonic plague?
0 to none.
Right. But if you take that bacteria, that harmful, corrosive bacteria, and you grow it into a petri dish and you cultivate that, you know what I'm saying? The odds of it growing are much more substantial.
Right. No, yeah. You feed it, it will grow. You have a better chance of growing than if it was left to its own devices.
Absolutely. So you take somebody that's committed let's say an armed robbery, right? And you put them into that petri dish and you feed that 1%. You know what I'm saying? What are the odds that they're going to talk to somebody and it's like, oh, you know what you got to do. You can't leave any witnesses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter if you got a gun. It doesn't matter if you live in a state like Australia, if you live in Britain or somewhere where there's what were we talking about earlier? China. They have a gun ban in China now, right?
Yes, I actually looked this up. Let me pull up the stats real quick because it was nuts, man. It's like 28 people killed and over 100 injured in China, and they didn't even use guns. I mean, it's not a gun problem.
We have a mental health problem.
Yeah, that's worldwide though, but especially in America where you got people that are really self-entitled, and they go out of their way to check to go out of their way to to I don't know how I'm trying to say it, like to feel special, you know, like here in America, it's totally different than it is overseas. Like people here will go kill somebody because of a Facebook post, you know,
Right.
because or become severely depressed and angry because their Instagram picture didn't get 100 likes when the last one did. So why is it not going as good as it was earlier?
That might be some of the same reasons that we have people that commit mass killings because they want the fame from it. That you have those people that they want to kill more people than any other person's killed, right?
Yeah.
But that person, regardless of the gun laws in that state, regardless of how they commit a murder, are going to hurt somebody.
Yeah, like here it is right here. Knife-wielding attackers killed 29, injure 130 at China train station.
That's one attack?
One attack.
Oh my goodness.
One attack, no guns.
Killed
now
29 people
now
with knives?
one person has a gun and they can stop that from happening damn near instantaneously. Probably with a fire in the air. The people will probably turn around and run because they realize, oh shit, we got guns, they got knives.
You ever been out at a party where somebody did a desk pop, fired one in the air? People hit the ground, bro.
Oh yeah. Well,
bullshit stops immediately.
Yes, bullshit does stop immediately for sure. But yeah, I think the solution is to free arm the entire population. When I say free arm, I mean don't make it impossible for people to get weapons that need weapons. You know, like if we're talking about the differences between an insane person and a clinically sane person, well, the insane person obviously should not have a weapon at any time.
Absolutely.
I don't, because they can flip out, whatever, you know, just forget to take their medicine.
But it's their own self-preservation.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody that, like, let's say someone that is clinically disposed to depression, someone that's composed to has compulsory to hallucinations, especially. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So somebody that has dementia or
hears voices.
Yeah, absolutely. Schizophrenic.
Because that, you know, that people use that as a defense these days. They say, "Oh man, like I was hearing voices and they told me to kill my mom, so I killed my mom and my dad and my teacher and all my friends."
One of the biggest serial killers of all time. Forgive me, I can't think of who it was off the top of my head. Thought his neighbor's dog was telling him to kill all those people.
Well, like John Wayne Gacy.
I think it might have been.
We gotta look this one up.
Neighbor's dog talking. I mean,
all right, so David Berkowitz. That's what it was.
That's what it was. Absolutely. And he was the guy that used a .44 caliber.
Son of Sam.
Son of Sam.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't heard that in a long time. But some people just want to cause fucking chaos. You know what I mean? Maybe that's your defense when you get caught. They never caught the Zodiac killer, right? And that motherfucker was sending cryptic messages to the police trying to get caught.
Yeah. So, okay. So I'm looking on here and I see something. I'm going to ask you a question. Which serial killer has the most kills, do you think, Dave?
Man, What are we counting as a serial killer?
Oh, I just want to know what your answer is. You can classify serial killers any way you want. Who's the biggest one?
I'm gonna go with John H. Holmes.
I'm gonna go with Hillary Clinton. Fucking bitch. No, actually, H.H. Holmes, right? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
That was the guy who built the hotel
Yeah.
in was it Chicago? The Chicago's World's Fair, and he would pick people off he would invite people in. His whole place was set up as a
Secret
fucking
rooms. And,
yes. How crazy would that be? Like you just go in there for a night.
But that's what I'm talking about. That's a sick person. I mean, and call it what you will, because there's people out there that, you know, are enamored by him, that treat him like a deity. You know what I mean? But that's what we're talking about the 1%. And people have, even you and I, if I consider myself to be that 98%, I know I'm not the other 1% of the good people that go out of their way, because
you're a normal person.
I'm a normal person.
Yeah,
I'm not
get along so well because I'm fucking evil too, you know.
I'm not out here trying to be the salvation of humanity by any means. You know, I've passed 2 or 3 homeless people before I give one $1. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't give those people money. I don't. I see there's 2 or 3 down here, and I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a dude down here that washes my car probably once a week.
Washes it? Well, then look, he's earning this money.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You know? But then there's days where he walks by and he's like, "Say, bro, you got $1?" And not trying to do anything, not trying to earn it. I'm like,
no. Okay, so just now I went to go. Well, not just now. Obviously, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. But 4 hours ago, I went to go get some chicken, and I pull into the chicken place and I order my chicken. But as I'm walking in, a guy rides by on one of those rental bikes, and he's like, "Hey, bro, you got a couple dollars?" And I was like, "No, man, I don't have any. I'm sorry." I walk in the store, I order my chicken, I walk across the parking lot, I didn't even like go 20 yards to the gas station. And here he comes around the corner. He's like, "Hey, bro, you got a couple of dollars?" And I was like, "You just asked me." But here's the thing. They don't think that way. They don't think, "Oh, man, I just asked that guy. He probably doesn't have it." What they think is ask everybody.
It's a numbers game.
Don't even recognize the person's face. Because you recognize his face, you'll stop asking him for money after he tells you no.
Right.
It's ask everybody. That's my biggest problem with him. If you have enough fucking energy to ask everybody for fucking money, go cut lawns.
Right. You know? It's the same mentality as the guy that goes to every single girl in a bar and asks them just straight up, "Hey, you want to fuck?"
You want to fuck?
Because that guy,
he's going to come across somebody.
1 out of 100. But it's like,
he's gonna come across that super fun drunk fat chick that thought she was going home with a group of dudes, told all of her friends, "No, go ahead, you can leave. I got it. I'll be covered."
Yeah.
And then at 1:45 or 1:50, when everybody's gone but her and the "Hey, you want to fuck" guy, good possibility he's fucking that night, bro.
I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I used to work with a guy back when I used to wait tables. And that was his mentality. Like, there was no like courting a girl. There was no talking sweet to her. He just walk up to every single girl he saw and be like, "What's up? We fucking or fighting?" You know,
that's a good way to ask it, because
handshake or anal.
Handshake or anal. Yeah, that's the way to go.
But I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. Every once in a while it worked. It's like a salesman. You know what I'm saying? Going door to door. "Hey, you want to buy a vacuum?" "No." "Slam it in my face." "Hey, you want to buy a vacuum?" "Nope." Slam the door in my face. Somebody wants to buy that vacuum, dude.
Somebody does. Somebody's going to let you come in there and throw cranberry juice on their white carpet just to show them that their vacuum cleaner can get that shit out. And
you
when
got any bowling balls laying around? I'll pick up a bowling ball, no problem.
Yeah. Hey, no big deal. But yeah, so there is really no solution to the gun control problem. I think that the best solution is proactive, like offensive, not defensive.
Can we find out who the biggest serial killer of all time was? You still got that open? Because you got me.
It probably is H.H. Holmes.
You got my interest peaked. I think I'm wrong.
No,
I said John H. Holmes.
Ooh,
John Wayne Gacy, 34 people.
No, that there's no way that's right. H.H. Holmes killed way more than 34
I've never
people.
even heard of this guy, Ali Asghar. I'm not going to try.
Ottoman Empire. Okay, so he probably killed an unknowing amount of victims, because there is no victims there.
I can't believe that Stalin's not on that list, or
Right. Let's see. How many people did H.H. Holmes kill? I know he killed more than 30 because I watched this documentary. Let's see. Oh, he confessed to 27. But okay, yeah. Confessing to him and not confessing to the other murders, that's a big difference.
absolutely.
He probably confessed to the ones he knew he was going to get caught.
He's like,
The ones
damn,
he
I
could
still got
remember.
like 27 bodies in the basement.
Because he did this for years. I mean, it wasn't. Let's see, 18. Oh no, that was his birthday. He was America's first serial killer. I didn't know that, but yeah, okay. H.H. Holmes is definitely a fucked up individual, but
was it Chicago? Were we right?
I'm pretty sure it was Chicago. Let me see if it comes up in the search. Yeah,
Shawshank
we'll type in
Redemption.
World Fair. That'll come up for sure.
Chicago.
Okay, well, it's not. Oh yeah, right here, for Chicago's first serial murderer. So yeah, he was in Chicago. Is the Chicago's World Fair or some shit like that? And
I
he
know a
would
girl that's got a portrait of him on her thigh.
fuck that girl, literally and figuratively. And she's like, "Hey, you want to go to this hotel? It's a nice little spot I know about. Nobody else knows about it."
We gotta fly out to Chicago though.
There's no Yelp reviews.
It's an abandoned building in the industrial district.
So, what else been going on, man? Like, what's up in the tattoo world? You gonna do any fucked up tattoos today?
I mean, I try to never fuck up a tattoo, but
Do any
every once-
tattoos that you just really don't want to fucking do?
I mean, I try to stay hungry. You know what I mean? I think that's important in anything you do. Like I
So
remember,
you're down to put some old English on me?
I'll put some old English on you.
Whatever,
I will
bro.
fuck your ass up with some old English for
Nah, fuck
across your back.
No, I
dude.
already have old English on my back. My last name looks like it's OMG. Dead fucking
You
serious.
should just own that, bro. You should just get
Man,
OMG real big.
When I was in jail, people would walk behind me and be like, "The fuck? This dude really just put no, man. If I was gonna do OMG, I'd have put the F in there. OMF and G. You know,
Hell yeah. I'm gonna get an LMAO tattoo.
the portrait or portrait of the group or."
I forgot that was a group.
I know, right? They were not that good, actually. So.
Oh man, they had one that fucking blew up though. What was it? The Shuffle song?
Yeah, they.
I'm not gonna lie. I learned to shuffle to that song.
Yeah, you're whack.
I'm whack as fuck. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, it's not OMFG, it's LMFAO.
LMFAO, yeah.
That's what their name is.
Yeah.
Fucking weirdos. Let's do it.
I texted my homeboy the other day. You ever get somebody that gives you shorthand? Like they text you in abbreviations, but you have no idea what the fuck they're saying.
Oh yeah.
And at this point in the game, I'm too embarrassed to ask what it means because I feel like I'm supposed to be savvy. I had a homie the other day that texted me LMBAO.
Yeah.
And I LMBAO.
What does that mean?
Exactly. I sat there.
Like, did you misspell Lambo, jackass? You know, like, what are you fucking? You're Lamboing?
It took me 10 minutes. I was done texting him. I was doing something else totally different, and I was like, "Oh shit, that means laugh my black ass off."
Yeah.
It took
Anytime a black person sends you something with like in shorthand with the letter B in it, just assume first that means black, and then if it doesn't make any sense after that, then try to figure out the other
LBOL.
Yeah, exactly. LBOL.
Laugh black out loud.
LWOL. Laughing my white ass out loud.
Oh, see, I can't do that. I can't just throw the word white into certain things. I feel like it doesn't work ever.
It doesn't. It never works. Like, we can't do that. We can't own that. We can't go like, yeah, we're white American. Like, the fuck? We're English Americans.
I do get offended when the only option on an application is Caucasian. My family's not from the Caucasus Islands. I'll have you know.
No, they are. They are. You look at your skin, bro. You come straight from cock anywhere.
Don't we all?
Yes, I'm definitely a caucus individual.
You suffer from a serious case of Caucasian, my good man.
Yeah, only in the penis region. It's Caucasian. Sorry for all my Asian friends out there. You know, you just have to get some thick skin if you're going to listen to our show. No snowflakes allowed. That's the rule here. No snowflakes allowed. So
I used to have a homeboy in high school that was, I want to say his family was from Vietnam, and his name was Chow.
Chow.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! That can go so wrong so many ways.
It
like
did.
in one language, chow means buy, and over here it means eat. You know,
And
like
he thought
food.
it was a good idea to buy a Vespa.
Oh my god!
So every time he'd drive off, we'd go, Chow.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't rock the name Chow. Never. So let's talk about our podcast since we're already well into it, and we're live. So we're gonna be trying to do. I'm sorry.
I'm always live.
I'm always live, bro. Ready to go. Anytime you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go. Yeah, we're gonna try to do a midnight podcast, and we're also gonna try to do a midday podcast. Not exactly sure on the dates and times yet on everything, but we will definitely have a regular show, and then we're just gonna have some whatever. You know, if you get fucking off work early, or if you're sitting at home and you're like, "Fuck, let's do this. Let's fucking do it, man. Fuck, I don't care. I'm down."
If I'm sitting at home and I'm thinking, "Fuck, let's do this," I usually try to text a female.
Yeah. I highly recommend you text females before you hit me up. Hit me up when you can't find a female and be like, "Hey, let's podcast." And then we can podcast.
I'm just kidding.
No, the podcast, it should be good, man. I like what we have already in the couple of shows we've done. It's gonna be pretty good. We just got to keep it up. Like you said, you want to do it regularly. We got to do it regularly. We got to keep these people listening. We got to keep these people coming back here, staying subscribed. If you haven't subscribed already, you're listening to this, reach over there, hit that subscribe button. We will be doing live shows. Even on our random shows, if you don't catch them live, they will always be on YouTube for you to catch them. So just help yourself. You know, get on there and listen to what we got to talk about, because Dave is a fucking smart guy and he has some smart shit to say.
Why are you looking in a mirror while you say that?
I'm not looking in the mirror, asshole. I was looking at my penis.
Is his name Dave too?
Yeah, it is. It's his in your show.
Have you seen the movie The Final Member?
No,
All
but
right.
that sounds like something I don't want to fucking watch to begin with.
Listen, I cannot recommend this documentary enough. It's all right. Just jump straight into this, because there's no way to make it not awkward to talk about. But The Final Member, it used to be on Netflix. I don't know where you could stream it now, but it's a documentary about this guy that's got the world's only penis museum.
What? A penis museum?
He's got a penis museum with every specimen of penis from an animal that has a penis, except for one, right? The final member.
Oh my god! So who's he missing?
A human penis.
What? That sounds ridiculous. He couldn't pay somebody. I would just give somebody 10 grand and say
no. So he puts the feelers out there, bro. He's like, look, I'm looking for some dick. No,
he's gonna find it that way.
Yeah,
you know, but he's not gonna find the right penis that he's looking for. He's gonna find best place to find something like that is Grindr.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get on Grindr. There'd be somebody on this willing to give you their penis.
I think the museum, I want to say, I might be lying, I think it's in Greenland. All right. So the guy that hits him up and is like, look, I want you to have my dick, is definitely American. He's definitely American, right? And this dude, fucking, he has the strongest bond with his penis out of anyone I've ever come across. I feel like there's a lot of double entendres happening right now. But
well, I have a movie that, man, this is something everybody needs to see. It was filmed right here in Dallas. It's called Midgets vs. Mascots. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh, dude, that's a good one.
Have you seen it?
Yes, absolutely.
You've seen it. Oh my god, this is why we get along so well, Dave, because we both watched Midgets vs. Mascots.
Yeah, so that was up there with Murderball for me for like top documentary for years.
Oh well, Midgets vs. Mascots to me is not really documentary type material.
It's more
unless you're documenting the last film that Gary Coleman shot.
Ooh,
you know that, right?
That
was his last film.
That was the last one.
That was the last one.
Isn't it like Jackass style? Like,
no,
like
no. It was.
Rules?
I mean, it is kind of, yeah. They go around doing a bunch of different challenges, and what they do is they pit two teams against each other, one full of midgets and the other full of mascots.
Yeah.
And
it might be the last movie to get away with using the word midgets.
It might be.
Yeah.
But that was a low budget film, so I don't think they got too much critical review from the little people. But it was a funny ass movie, man. Like I was tripping when I was like, how are they getting away with this, man? Like they were saying some racial shit on there.
Oh yeah,
And
I remember. Yep.
I like when they had Scottie Pippen on. I like when they when Gary Coleman came in and he was like, yeah, I'm part of the midgets, and the little midget girl was like, you're like the Shaquille O'Neal of midgets.
Yeah. Bro,
that had me rolling, bro.
Did he get mad and like walk out several times?
You know, I wouldn't doubt it because he was a crazy individual. I think his wife killed him or his girlfriend, whoever it was.
I have no idea about Gary Coleman's death.
Oh, God. He fucking died falling downstairs. And apparently, I don't know the whole story, but yeah, I know for a fact he died falling downstairs. It was considered an accident, but it was just considered an accident. I mean, it really wasn't a fucking accident.
It wasn't that considered.
No.
They didn't think about it that hard. They're like, he was at the top of the stairs, now he's at the bottom, dead body. Accident.
Yeah, accident, exactly. But that movie, man, is fucking hilarious. Like, comedy is something people don't need to take too seriously. Comedy is all about joking. There are too many people out there getting butthurt over comedy. Like, and it's killing comedy. Like, when you can't say, you know, I'll just, you know, not to hurt anybody's feelings. When you can't say a white joke, you know, because white people will get angry, then that's fucking stupid, man. Like, it's a joke. Laugh about it. Don't fucking act like your butthole hurts because I called out the fact that you're white and made a joke about the race. Usually when a joke is funny is because it's usually kind of true. You know, it's a hard truth to swallow. And when someone has the nuts to just say it out loud, that's when people go, that guy. Yeah, invite Dave to the next party, you know, like.
I talk to people all day. That's all I do is I sit and I bond with people. Somebody comes into the shop, they want to get a tattoo. A lot of times they might be afraid to open up because in their little social circle that they hang out with, you know what I mean? When they're sitting in their cubicle for 8 hours a day, they can't say, you know, this, that, the other. They can't voice, oh, I think this is ridiculous, you know, because that's HR issue.
Yeah.
I saw, bro, read this headline for me out loud and tell me this isn't the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard.
You know, I struggle reading. I have to pre-read everything. Which one? The Dive by Beach House Review?
No, Dive by Beach House. That's a good shit. But underneath that.
Yeah, see, so, okay, West Virginia lawmaker caught on camera singing N-word in Lil Wayne song. So, yeah.
I laugh every time I read it.
She's a racist, obviously, right? Because she's repeating what Lil Wayne said, and
Absolutely.
It's okay for Lil Wayne to say it, but fuck, she's a caucus person. She's from the caucus. She has no right to repeat what Lil Wayne said under any circumstance.
I read that headline and no lie, laughed so hard a single tear rolled down my cheek. I can't tell you. I was telling somebody today that I'm almost 30 years old. You can ask me about any emo song that came out in the late 2000s. I got no information for you, bro. I don't know who the bands are.
Oh man, I was sure you were gonna be one of those guys that walk around with like long, straight, like hair iron, straight hair.
Yeah,
solid black fingernails, solid black eyeballs, like just going ham on the emo.
A girl earlier today, I was piercing her nose, and she was like, that song about the groom's bride is a whore. Came on the radio and like, oh my gosh, I love this band. Who sings this? I was like, I have no fucking idea. I don't know who you think I am. But if you want to pop quiz me on 90s Bay Area hip hop, I got you all day. You know what I'm saying? But
what was that movement called that they used to do out there? It was like it was some kind of movement that the Oakland rappers had done.
The Sideshow?
No. I would have to remember it. But yeah, it was a type of swag, I guess you would say. That
the hyphy?
Hyphy, that's it, right?
Yeah,
there.
Bro.
See?
I get down with the hyphy shit.
Hyphy.
Cutthroat Committee, Mac Dre. If you don't know, ask somebody.
Yeah, Mac Dre, and he's dead, right?
Yeah.
He got killed.
Rest in peace to Mac Dre.
Rest in peace, Mac Dre. Murked in St. Louis, right? I think it was. And like,
you didn't catch me bullshitting if I answer that question.
But you know what? I pay a lot of fucking attention to bullshit. And that's some bullshit. So let's see. I'm pretty sure he was murdered in St. Louis.
You know what I respect about Mac Dre though, and I've been listening to Mac Dre, rest in peace, since
Kansas City. I was right.
Kansas City.
Yep. I knew it. Motherfucker, don't ever test me on fucking hip hop.
Is there Kansas City in St. Louis?
Fuck, man, come on, bro. You don't know geography?
So there's a Kansas.
Okay, guys, we're gonna take a break from being fun. Not geometry, asshole. Geography. Did I say geometry?
No.
Okay, good.
So there's a Kansas City, Missouri, a Kansas City, St. Louis, and a Kansas City,
Kansas.
there
ain't no state St. Louis, you jackass. There's a Kansas City, Missouri, and a Kansas City, Kansas.
Okay, but
so there's two sides. See, which side do you think is more ghetto?
Geography. What's that?
What side do you think is more ghetto?
I'm gonna go with St. Louis. I've been through St. Louis.
The east side. Like no matter what, it's the east side. You're talking about. You're like, what part of St. Louis? What part of any city is the most ghetto? Well, the east side. The east side and the south side. Always. Yeah. There's never. I think
you know
maybe
what that's
in New
from
York. Though? What? Oh yeah, from Colors, right? East Side Locals, homie.
No, it's from no. I mean, why that started? Why the East Side became the more financially corrupt districts, and the ones that they drove ethnics into was because of man, what did they used to call it? They would go into each neighborhood and they would knock on the door and they'd say, "Hey, you might want to sell your house because there's going to be a bunch of black people moving in this neighborhood." Right? Mm-hmm. And it was actual banks would do this to people. And only reason I know this is two reasons. One, they tried to do it in a town in Kansas or out in El Dorado where I have a lot of
I was about to say Kansas City, Kansas or Kansas City, Missouri?
El Dorado, Kansas.
Better know your fucking geography before you come on this show.
It's outside of Kansas City, right? They did this recently with Hispanic populations where they're like, hey, if you want to, but they didn't put it the same way. See, when they did it in the 60s, they were like, hey, you might want to sell us your house because blacks are going to move into your neighborhood and it's going to drive your property value down, right? Well, recently in El Dorado, they came through and they're like, hey, there's a lot of Hispanic people coming through here. We want you to sell us your house and we're going to sell it to them. So there's slight weight shifty being like, you know, we're going to turn this into a Hispanic neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right.
To get you out.
Right, exactly. Really, they just want to buy up all the property and build a goddamn Walmart, you know. But at the time in the 60s, and the other reason I know about it is because of hearing Joe Rogan talk about it, where he was saying that his grandfather lived in New Jersey, I think it was New Jersey. And they were like, hey, you might want to sell us your house because there's going to be a lot of black people moving in the neighborhood. And he's like, I don't give a fuck. I love black people. Slam the door in their face. You know what I mean? But what they did was they bought an entire portion of a city. And they determined that it was going to be the east side of the city or the south side of the city. And then they would sell that property at a lower value than what it was worth, but double the rental space in that area, right? So you got a 4-bedroom house, you turn it into a duplex, you make double the income off that property.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. That's what they're doing where I used to live. Every house, like I used to live over here in like right across from Uptown. It was like the very beginning of East Dallas.
Yeah.
And all the developers, like Uptown is like fully capacity of development. So they have to move somewhere. So they're jumping across 75 and they're buying up houses over there.
Over by the airport?
No. On 75, not 35.
Okay, sorry.
So yeah, we're looking like right here on the way to North Dallas.
Okay, shit.
So they're buying at Haskell and 75. So they're buying the properties over there and they're forcing the tenants out. Not forcing them out, but making it like raising the rent up really high, not doing things on time. They're just doing their own thing to get the tenants to actually move out. The people buying those properties, the moment the tenants move out, they're knocking the houses down and putting up 2-story, 4-bedroom apartments.
Okay.
On the same lot that my 2-bedroom house was.
Right.
Because then they can get 4 incomes. They can get $4,000 a month instead of $1,500 or whatever. You know,
and there's a morally sound way to do those things, but forcing an entire population of people into an area of a city, which is essentially what they did with, like we were talking about the Bay, what they did with Compton and like other areas like New York and the Bronx and Harlem. What they did was they marketed this area to a certain population, right? At the same time, offering better benefits to other people that might want to live in a better neighborhood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they would talk people out of moving into certain neighborhoods based on their cultural background or their ethnicity, which is fucked up, man. You know what I mean? Like it's ridiculous to see that now, looking back at year 2018, we think that that's amoral. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's places where it's still going on. Like, I mean, I don't want to make it political in any way, but fucking Barack Obama got a Nobel Peace Prize for look this up. Let's see if I'm correct.
You know that I want to say something about Obama real quick because I don't really care for him or his presidency, but at the same time, I don't think he was like the worst president ever. He's the only president in the history of being president that gave himself a presidential medal.
That's true. Yeah.
No other fucking president was so arrogant and so self-absorbed that they gave themselves their own presidential medal, but except him. He did. Now, what do you want me to look up? Obama what?
Nobel Peace Prize. Sorry, Nobel Peace Prize. Did he get it for
I know he got one.
liberating Libya?
All right. So, he won it in 2009. Extraordinary efforts to strengthen international diplomacy and cooperation between peoples. So, I don't know. It doesn't really say what country it was, but
So one of his last acts as a president, I want to believe, is liberating Libya. This man got a Nobel Peace Prize in his presidency, right? In liberating Libya, he gave them the right to govern themselves as their own body, right? And not even, I want to say under a year ago, live on Facebook, they were selling slaves.
oh yeah, no, they sell slaves every day in Africa, like every day in all the countries. Well, I'm gonna say that some of the African countries are well developed enough that they can control that, but Africa is not the safari you think it is. Africa is the place that white people go to die because they hate white people there. There's a very oppressive, back in the
what was homeboy's name that one of the is it South Africa or North Africa? One of the dictators that committed the last major genocide was telling people that white people were created by a mad scientist on the dark side of the moon.
He's probably right.
I mean, I can't say that he's wrong. I've never been there. I listened to that.
Does feel like home a little bit though.
I listened to that album by Pink Floyd one time, but other than that, I can't speak to the dark side of the moon. But that's the same logic that people used in the early United States to accept slavery here. Was people, and if you look into the crazy ideas that Adolf Hitler believed, he thought that white people were created by angels. That he honestly believed that we were all taken from an original form, an original human being, and then that they were advanced by science to create white people. So essentially,
Who said that?
Adolf Hitler.
Oh
that was the reason for mass genocide.
Fucking weirdo.
Oh, you ain't lying, man. But he 100% thought that white people, that Aryans, blonde hair, blue eyed, Caucasian people, were created by angels. And when you understand, when you read through all the literature that they tried to collect and understand that this dude thought that he was closer to God than Jewish people or than black people or someone that didn't have Aryan features, then you understand that like how it becomes that us versus them mentality, right? And in the same sense, Genghis Khan,
Heh.
right? Killed more people.
That's really the number one serial killer of all time.
That's
Genghis
probably
Khan,
true.
for
Genghis Khan
sure. Millions of people.
killed so many people because of that us versus them mentality. It was people that lived in tents versus people that lived in huts, right?
Yeah.
And we're nomads. If you're not living this life, you're not with us, then you're them. You know, that same mentality brought slavery into the United States. It's brought slavery back in a big way in Africa. It's ridiculous that you could look at another human being.
Well, I'll tell you like this. And we'll go off topic. We're going to talk about feminism for a second because I had a customer come in the other day that was from South Sudan. And
you're going to have to tell me where that is because, like I said, I'm not good at geometry.
South of North Sudan. How about that for your fucking geometry lesson?
It's Sudan. That has 2 doors instead of 4.
Yeah, exactly. No, he's a student here now. He's training to be a pilot. He's an Uber driver. He's pretty successful from what he was telling me. But I was talking to him about, what the differences is and his view of the world, his view of our snowflakes, his view of our feminists, his view of our white nationalists, his view of anybody that is on the far left and far right. And he's like, those are just privileged individuals. No matter what they are, they can be the black of America. They're privileged because they didn't do anything. They didn't have to go through what I went through to be black in America.
Right.
So he said that there was times he had to hide from Muslims. And I'm not bashing Muslims, of course, but North Sudan, so they didn't have the structure we had, right? So he was explaining this to me. I'm gonna do my best to regurgitate what he said, but he said they don't have the structures of government that we have. We complain about our governmental structures, right? So when the government actually fell in Sudan, they sold the Sudan really like politically to Egyptians. And so the Egyptians came over into North Sudan, and that's why there's a heavy Muslim population in North Sudan. But in South Sudan, it's mostly Christians. So it's kind of like what you're saying. It's us versus them, right? Well, he was telling me, he was like, man, these people have no idea what they're complaining about over here. They're complaining about eating steak,
Right.
Oh, my steak's not cooked right. I asked for this way. It didn't come out this way. He's like, you'd be lucky to get meat in Sudan if you didn't fucking weren't raising your own meat, and killing it. And he said that. I asked him, I said, well, what's the, the disparity between wages between men and women? And he looked at me straight in the eye and he's like, women here are blessed because women in Sudan, an employer can legally pay a woman in Sudan 25% what the man gets. And it's not illegal. They could just do that. And he was like, in America, that would be illegal. Like you could sue somebody, you could get money from them for doing something stupid like that. But in Sudan, it was totally accepted by not just the people, but also the government. The government accepts that shit. So it's not fair that people over here bitch and complain when people over there are actually having to fucking suffer through this. And that's why I just can't subscribe. I will never subscribe to the social interest group. The, Black Lives Matter, they're all about black people. They don't come to anybody's defense. Here's my thing. Black Lives Matter misses out so fucking many times. Every time a white cop kills another white man, that should be a time that Black Lives Matter stands up and goes, look what's going on.
Right.
This happens to y'all, but it happens to us too.
Right.
Why can't y'all see that we're equal? Instead, they shut the fuck up because the victim's not black. That's fucking ignorant. That lets people know who aren't ignorant. That lets people know who have intelligence and can do critical thinking. They can look back and see that your whole interest was never for the equality of everybody, but it was just for the promotion of the black race.
Well, to play devil's advocate, I think that the idea of black lives lifting up the value of black lives is a beautiful idea, right? And there was a time and a place in America where that was definitely needed.
Oh yeah, time and
Right.
place.
Time,
Not
exactly.
now,
No,
not here.
and not to say that there's not atrocities committed against every type of person.
Absolutely, and there are atrocities committed against the black youth, and that's the thing. I'll agree with that 100%. In the 50s and 60s, it was systemic. Everybody was
Absolutely.
doing it. Here, it goes back to that 1%. 1% of the police officers are racist. 1% are, just violent by nature, So when you see a cop shooting an unarmed individual on YouTube, okay, how many videos are you not watching of cops just doing their jobs perfectly?
Right.
Like, how boring would that be to sit around and watch billions of hours of cops doing their jobs to find that one 3-minute clip where they kill an individual that's innocent? So I don't think it's all police officers, and I'll back the blue 100% every single day.
I got pulled over not even a day, 2 days ago.
Except for Trophy Club. I won't back those guys.
Right.
Fuck Trophy Club. If you're listening to this from Trophy Club, I feel for you. Fuck those cops.
I got pulled over and pop, news story. Nothing happened, bro. Like, my registration was out barely. You know what I mean? I was polite, cordial. I asked the officer about his day. I talked to him. You know what he literally told me when he left my car? This is no bullshit. Verbatim. He walks over, hands me my license. I told him, hey, bro, I'm sorry. February was a short month. I just went through a breakup. I had to change my address. I had to get my car out of the shop. I'm sorry. I'll get my registration taken care of. Walks over, hands me my license, and says, look, man, get your shit together. That's it.
Okay,
verbatim.
Now, if people that claim that they're systemically abused by police, if they approached interactions with the police the way you just did, they wouldn't have those problems. Like, you see people on the, I saw this lady, and this is one of the funniest videos in the world to me.
Is it the one where she's got her son in the car with her and she's telling him not to do anything the police says?
No. This is, I want to check that one out.
That one
too.
hurts my heart.
So the one that I saw was just one. It was a black lady, and she was sitting in the car, and the cop was literally just asking her for identification. And she's like, no, I didn't commit any crime by this, and that law. Like, bitch, you're not no fucking lawyer. Yeah, that's gonna come back to kick you in your ass, bitch. Watch. What did they do? Instead of she wasn't committing any crimes. Instead of just being polite, handing the officer, it's an inconvenience. It's an inconvenience for both of you. Instead of just handing the officer the ID and saying, here you go, run my ID, see I'm not doing anything wrong, give it back to me, have a nice fucking day, and get the fuck out of my life. Instead, more officers showed up, including black officers. So the white officer backed off and said, look, let's not make this a race thing. Here, you go ask her for her ID. He goes and asks her for ID with same bullshit. I'm street lawyer by underneath the, Rose Street barcode. Get the fuck out of here. You don't know the fucking law. They have the police have a job to do. You let them do their job. They will leave you the fuck alone. They will approach you. They may even be a dick because they hate their job. I mean, who wants to be responsible for that? It's somebody's got to do it. It pays well. So people who are educated who don't want to work a fucking burger flipping job, don't have the, maybe the degree to go get a nice corporate job, but have enough education and enough smarts to become police officers. So treat those people with respect. Treat them with respect. Give them your ID when they ask for it. I promise you, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get off with a warning if you're just cool to the cop. The cop's not going out looking to take somebody to jail with every person he pulls over. In fact, if you ask most cops, they don't like taking people to jail. It's a lot of fucking paperwork. It takes them from being out in the street, driving around, seeing the outside, to inside of a fucking concrete building that smells like sweat. If you've ever been to jail, you know what I'm talking about. It fucking smells like sweat everywhere. So treat cops with respect, and they'll treat you back with the same respect.
And, it's not only that, it's every person you come across. You know what I mean? You want to
Exactly. No, everybody. You don't want people to treat you shitty. Don't treat them shitty. Say hi.
Yeah.
Smile.
And it doesn't take
Goes a long fucking way.
It does. It really does. You want to have a bad attitude. You want to, I saw a girl the other night that was talking mad shit to this dude in the bar. Just, why are you talking to me? This, that, and the other. And then you want to be
Dude's
outside
just
crying
trying to
because
fucking talk to you.
You want to be outside crying at 2:00 in the morning because you had a bad night and you think nobody likes you. Like,
nobody does like you because you're a fucking bitch. Like, be cool and people will fucking find you fun to be around.
And you can't be shitty to the people that try to interact with you on a daily basis and then expect good things to come your way. Right? There's some times where I'll be talking to somebody and I want to pull my teeth out and my hair out one by one. You know what I mean? But I smile, please and thank you. Yes, sir. No, sir. You know what I'm saying? And eventually that person
is going to fuck you.
No.
No, for real. That's
maybe
what you're
if it's
getting
a nice
at.
young man.
You're like, dude, look, you ain't getting pussy. Change the way you look at people. Smile. Hold the door open for women. Ask them if they want to fuck or a handshake. Are we fucking or fighting? Every time you open the door, if she says fighting, hit her with the door. If she says fucking, follow her inside.
No, just you have to put good into the world to get good back, right? I was having this conversation with somebody the other day. I was talking to this really intelligent person. We were discussing that it's true that you have to put positivity out to receive positivity. You put negativity out, you'll receive negativity.
Yeah.
But at the same time, at some point both in Buddhism and Hinduism, you have to accept that suffering is a part of life.
Right. Go back and look at the life of Buddha. I mean, Buddha was a prime example of suffering to attain spiritual enlightenment. He in fact, again, this is all like trying to go off of memory. Buddha, he wanted to become closer spiritually with himself. So he figured that food was getting in the way of him enjoying food too much to actually become spiritual. So he stopped eating.
Absolutely.
In an effort to become more spiritual. And then he realized that the hunger pains were worse than enjoying his food. So he stopped doing that and started being started trying to find, it was a test and retest method. Try this. It doesn't work. Stop doing this. This is how they get to the self-mummification of the Buddhist monks today. Buddhist monks, I don't know if we touched on this topic, but Buddhist monks basically commit suicide to prove that they are the living Buddha. And some fail. And those people get buried in a special graveyard, and others, the ones that actually complete the self-mummification process, which is extremely painful. But the ones that complete that self-mummification process, they're enshrined in the Buddhist temples, in the true Buddhist temples out in the, I think, Tibetan mountains or whatever it is. But
right. And, Buddha was, this is all hearsay on my part because I never met the dude. But before he died,
he's fucking cool as fuck.
Before he died, they said you could touch his spine through his belly button.
Oh, Lord. No way.
Yeah, that he fasted so much that you could touch his spine through his belly button. And then you think about the statues that you see of the effeminate, curvy Buddha or the fat Buddha.
You don't ever see the skeleton Buddha.
Right. But he's also said, do not worship me as a false idol. Right? That he was not forming a religion, he's forming a philosophy.
Right. The philosophy of finding yourself. Right. You should be your own religion. I stand by that today. Like, Christians, if you think the Bible is 100% right, you're an idiot. You should understand that the Christian Bible is a recreation of multiple other historical books. The Christian way of life is a guideline for how you should live your life to achieve spiritual enlightenment. And this is one thing that Buddha understood, is that God exists not outside, but inside. God is inside of you. And if you want to be like God, then act as if he's standing next to you, watching you. And so that's what Christianity, not Christianity, but that's what a modern day Christian should really live his life by. He should really understand that, look, if Jesus was sitting next to you watching you, would he high five you? Because if he ain't high fiving you, don't fucking do it. You know, if Jesus would high five you, then you're probably not going to get in a lot of trouble for doing whatever the fuck you're about to do. So Buddha was the same way. Buddha just didn't want to, he doesn't want people worshiping him because he is not the way to find enlightenment. Mimicking him, that's different. Mimicking him and doing the things that he did, now that can help you achieve spiritual enlightenment through the way that he achieved the spiritual enlightenment. But it doesn't mean that, you know, that you should go worship Buddha and put up pictures of him. And I got a nice little painting of him up there. Yeah. I think that's Buddha. Is that Buddha or is that the female version or whatever they're called?
Yeah, that's Buddha.
That's
for
Buddha.
Sure.
Buddha got them long ears. Buddha had gauges.
But, you know, I say the effeminate version, and all I mean by that is I don't mean that like he's got like he's limp wristed or he's
fucking homophobe,
right? But I mean, the Hindu temples have the statues with super curvy features somewhere ambiguously between a male and a female, where you look at them and you're like, damn, was Buddha a man or a woman? You know, but I think that's meant to appeal to the masses.
Man,
right?
This is bringing up a few things here because did you see the Fennec fox that went on a vegan diet? Sorry, not to throw this off, but it has to do with Buddha being super fucking skinny, right? Have you seen the Fennec fox where the lady?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The lady takes a Fennec fox. I think that's how you say it. Fennec. It's a domesticated fox, but it's a canine. But it also has a lot of feline properties. So she decided to switch it over to a vegan diet. And the pictures of this thing, it gets skinnier and skinnier and skinnier and skinnier. And she just constantly on her Instagram, people are like, yo, you need to feed that fucking fox meat and the things it normally eats. It's like its natural diet is 90% meat. And this lady chose to give her 100% vegan. And now the fucking fox is all skinny. Now, that's torturous, but I'm going to tell you something. From my own experience, I went on a vegan diet from August to mid-December, and I lost about 20 pounds that I didn't need to lose, and I didn't appreciate it. And now my body is just now getting back into accepting meat back into it, because when I said nope, can't do this, the vegan diet's really not for me. The moment I went to meat, my stomach was hurting. Everything. And now I won't go away from meat. Now I'm just, you know, you're going to have to.
A lot of people use that as fuel to feed their ideas. You know what I'm saying? It depends on where your mind's at when you're going through these things. Because people are like, oh, I cut beef out. Now if I eat a steak, it tears me up. I'm in bed all day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like your body runs on what you tune your engine for. You know what I'm saying? If you
it's like rocket car or F1 speed cars need rocket fuel. Right. You know, you can't just give them unleaded gasoline, 87 octane. And
you can't put diesel engine in your straight six.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Ooh, straight six. That's like my favorite motor of all time. Toyota Supra, Grand National. I love the straight six. Sorry, go ahead.
But you can't run an engine that's built to do something off of just anything. Right? If you are training your body to be vegan, that's your decision. That's your right. But then 6 months into that diet, you decide I'm going to have a steak. You can't use that as a sign that you were right all along to be vegan.
No, yeah, you can't. And that's what I was saying. It's like, I tried it out and I saw the weight drop off me and I was like, ooh, maybe this is good for somebody who's overweight. But for me, I burned too many calories in the fucking sauna. Yeah. Like I just couldn't. I needed meat. I needed actual calories to be sustainable, and it just wasn't happening. So, well, anyway, Dave, this is about an hour, man. We're getting pretty close to being done with this. Is there anything you want to say to the people for our first episode?
Hello, America, and everywhere else.
Well, this is our first episode. It's gonna get more refined, more fine-tuned. We'll have some different graphics in the background. We'll do some live streaming. I mean, some video recording. We'll do that. Everybody, you know, when you're watching this and you're not seeing any video, this isn't going to be how it is all the time. We're actually going to have video here pretty soon, probably within about, I would say about a month, we'll start doing video.
Yep.
We're going to be having live shows all the time. If you're a regular viewer, you want to get in and chime in and leave a comment, and we'll respond to your comments no matter how stupid they are. We'll also be doing different topics. So if you find a topic, hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, you know, YouTube, anything. Just leave us a message. Say, hey, cover this. Cover Dave being a jackass, because I'd love to cover myself being a jackass. You thought I was going to be talking about you, didn't you?
I 100% thought that you were throwing a jackass reference my way.
But anyway, yeah, so everybody, thanks for tuning in, and you guys have a great evening. This is Dave, and that is
Dave.
And we are the fuck out.
Good night, Dave.
Good night.